till Prabhuji gets his audio sorted out, we can probably read the shloka, text 12 and 13. Shashwin, just read the shloka.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshir Narada Tata Asito Devalo Vyasha Swayam Jaiva Bravisime. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances.
I don't know if you can hear me now. Is everything okay?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, Jai.
Okay, we are very grateful that you have been able to join us, and I really apologize for reaching out late yesterday with the text 12 and 13. But Prabhuji, are you any way connected on WhatsApp?
Yes, actually, yeah. So probably that would be better. What we can do is, I can just...
Because then I'm not Instagram, and then I'm used to WhatsApp. So if you give me your number at the end or write it in the chat, I'd really appreciate it. I'll add on. And mine is a Kenyan number, so I'll contact you as soon as I get yours.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Jai.
Jai. Prabhuji, we have done the Manglacharan and we have just read the text.
Oh, okay.
So I think people are joining in, but we can hand over to you and we can take it from there.
All righty. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mom, and for everyone for giving me this wonderful service to, share a few small realizations of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is very nice because it's giving us the solutions to life, giving us the explanations in quite detail, different aspects of philosophical understanding to make these facts become fully cognizant within us. And then, even better is that not only do we get all the information, not only do we get all the processes, but we get it validated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, and also by other personalities. In this verse, Arjuna is glorifying Krishna and affirming Krishna's position, highlighting that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. And this symbol, creating this affirmation that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, helps us as we carry on in our Krishna consciousness, as we carry on even with anything that's done in this world. Individuals have a sense of conviction about something that makes them go forward. In business, they have this thing. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It's called the 10-80-10 rule. So in each company, or in each organization, or in each business, even you can say even in ISKCON, you've got 10% of people who have the most faith. Even if anything goes wrong, even if things are not working properly, even if there's this issue, that issue, you've got 10% of people who have full faith in what's happening. Then on the other extreme, you've got 10% of people who do not have much faith, who are either there nor here, they're just around. And then you've got 80% of people who are in between, who are in the middle, who, at times they have faith, at times they don't have faith. And even we might see ourselves in one of these categories. I wouldn't say, you're in this category or what, but you can ask yourself, even in Krishna consciousness, In this 10-80-10 rule, where do I lie? Am I part of the 10% who have the strongest faith in Krishna and in the process? Or am I part of the 10% who have the least amount of faith? Or am I in the 80% that's just dangling in between? That things can go well, and so I'm convinced I have faith. Or if things don't go so well, then my faith is doomed. So when Arjuna makes a statement like this, that Krishna is the supreme, the ultimate abode, the goal of everything, he's gearing us up towards the top 10% who have faith in the process, who have faith in the mission. Because if we have that strong faith that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and I am his servitor, and my job is to do devotional service and to serve Krishna, then my progress in Krishna consciousness will be quicker. For the other 10% and maybe some of the 80%, first they have to be convinced of the knowledge before they fully understand that Krishna is the supreme, and then start to take up Krishna consciousness. So doubts and questions and these things and those things come about and, can agitate the mind. But if one is fully rooted in understanding that, okay, Krishna is the supreme, and that's why Arjuna is making this firm statement that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. You are the supreme, the absolute truth. You're the eternal, transcendental, original person. That if we practice our Krishna consciousness, having this understanding, then our progress becomes much more smoother. Because the clearing of our doubts has already been done because we've accepted this knowledge. Arjuna then goes on to mention that all the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. So it's important that Arjuna mentions Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas. Srila Prabhupada once was speaking with some devotees, and he mentioned, we have something that's our strength in Krishna consciousness. I don't know if anyone can try to tell me what they might think that is. What Prabhupada says that we have our greatest wealth. What is our greatest wealth? Let's give that a
parampara, Prabhu?
Exactly, Mom, yes. Parampara. Our wealth is that this knowledge, this information on Krishna's supremacy is being passed down from so many generations since when Krishna spoke it himself, all the way down to Srila Prabhupada. All these personalities throughout history who achieved stalwarts in regards to devotional life, all of them affirm the same fact. And so we taking to this process becomes easy for us because we need not go into the intricacies and the deep details and the controversial things that are quite technical. Some people start saying, how do we understand Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, this and that, so many things. That Krishna comes from Vishnu, but Krishna is the supreme. All those many things can be complicated. But because parampara is all of them, they're telling us that this is a process. This is our wealth. This is our strength. And so if we take shelter of this parampara, follow in their footsteps, imbibe the teachings the way they've passed them on, most importantly, Srila Prabhupada, who's actually also given us a system, a process that we can follow every day, then we are guaranteed going back home, back to Godhead. It's funny, they say, like we're reading in Nectar of Devotion, that one should not praise anyone else in front of the deity, right? That's one of the rules. Don't praise anyone else in front of the deity. But if you see in our temples, Prabhupada is always there when Guru Puja is happening. And Guru Puja is happening in front of the Lordships. So we're glorifying the pure devotee in front of the Lordships. In one sense, we can look at that and think, we're making an offense. But actually, This personality, we're not glorifying him because he's greater than the Lord. We're not glorifying him separately from the Lord, but it's thanks to this personality that we take darshan of the Lord. The lotus feet of this personality are the only means by which we can attain pure devotional service. And so Krishna is more pleased when we serve Prabhupada in front of him, because it's by Prabhupada's mercy that you can get to Krishna. It's by the mercy of the parampara that you get to Krishna. Prabhupada's spiritual master mentioned, when you offer something with love and devotion to your spiritual master, what does he do? He offers it to his spiritual master, who offers it to his spiritual master, and that gets then offered to Krishna. And Krishna will accept it. He has to accept it because the line of pure devotees have accepted it also. Krishna is bound by the love of his devotees. So if we develop love for Krishna, then Krishna will be bound to us in this way. And so the quickest, easy method to be able to do this successfully is if we follow the parampara system as stipulated by Srila Prabhupada, following the process of devotional service as stipulated by Srila Prabhupada. Then the revelations coming from these personalities become real for us. It says that there's different ways to achieve the Lord's mercy. Two main ones. The first one is ardent practice. If one does serious, intense practice, strict, paka, every day waking up, chanting 16 rounds before doing anything else, just being fully rigid, then one can be able to attain the mercy of the Lord by him. But then the other method is by the mercy of the devotees. The mercy of the devotees secures us connecting with Krishna. So I've had senior personalities say, I look at Krishna, beautiful, you know, the deities look very, very nice. They're dressed very, very nicely, wonderfully. Like I can see Richa Mataji's profile picture is, I think, a picture of Shri Radha Banke Bihari. Very, very beautiful. So they're saying, oh, wow, you know, they look, but I can't connect personally. I still feel like there's a big distance between me and Krishna. My conception of him is very difficult to understand because I'm still just looking at him like a doll. But when I look at Prabhupada and I see what Prabhupada has done with his life, I see how Prabhupada has taken shelter of Krishna and the things that Prabhupada was able to do because of taking shelter of Krishna, then I believe in Krishna. And so their faith starts from the pure devotee. And I can say that for myself also. It is after understanding what Prabhupada did, crossing on the Jaladuta from India to the West, such a dharmic man, full of dharma, Haka Brahman, with a heart and pure devotion to Krishna, is living in a house with people intoxicated with LSD. But he had tolerance, managed to preach to them, managed to convince them the power of Krishna, and turned all these personalities from drug addicts to addicts of Krishna. Actually, it's interesting. The drug issue is one that's usually very, very difficult to deal with. You'll hear many people going for rehab, but very few of them coming out of rehabilitation successfully. Or if they're coming out, like I know some people, you know, they're alcoholics, but they come out, they're not drinking alcohol anymore, they're smoking cigarettes. So it's a progression. But Srila Prabhupada came to people who are smoking, drinking, illicit activities, sense gratification, and transformed them into pure servants of Krishna. And so if we take full shelter of Srila Prabhupada and take full shelter of the instructions he's given us, then the same revelation given here by Arjuna to Krishna himself will be our revelation in reality. Prabhupada, I think one part says in the purport that what Arjuna is saying here is not just him trying to flatter Krishna. He's giving him the conclusion of the Vedas. It is a fact that Krishna is God and that we have to take shelter of Krishna, perform devotional service so that we can be with him, enjoy with him, and actually live our true life. The reason many of us suffer in this material world is because we try to be God ourselves. I want to control. I want to make this money. I want to be this, have this much success. I want to live in this kind of a building. I want to do this. I was very much on this mindset also. And my goal in life is to be rich. In school, we had people ask, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a teacher. I want to be this. I had a friend of mine who said, Miss, I want to be rich. Like, rich? Really? I don't care what I have to do. I want to be rich. And so they think, and this is what's even being preached into this world. You are the controller of your destiny. You are the divine consciousness. If you meditate on it strongly enough, you can make it your reality, which in one sense is possible. But because they lack the understanding of Krishna's supremacy, for many of people, this is just a fantasy. But if we take shelter of Krishna, we get the supreme wealth. It is almost guaranteed. It is guaranteed that we get the supreme wealth. 4 types of people come to Krishna. Artho, Artha Arti, Jnani, Jigyasu. The distressed, the one looking for money, the one looking for philosophical knowledge to understand the science of philosophy and reality, and the one who's seeking the absolute truth. All these people come to Krishna. And why do they survive? Because when they come to Krishna, they've come to the Supreme. The Supreme guides them properly and gives them the vision that they require. That is why in 2 verses before, one of my most favorite verses, Tesham satata yukta nam bhajatam pritipurvakam tadami bhudiyo gam tvam yena mam upayanti te. Who is constantly devoted to serving Krishna with love. He gives him the knowledge of how to come to him. So Prabhupada has given us a style, a system. Some of us were in the temple. I can see ISKCON Eldoret, Hare Krishna Sadhus. Prabhupada has given us a system that we can follow. And if we follow this system properly, it can be easy for us to develop the love. Other people who, let's say, are not following Prabhupada's system, they can only try to develop this love, first of all, by having to study intensely to come to the realization that Krishna is the supreme. They won't only look at Prabhupada's books, they'll read other versions of Bhagavad Gita, which are telling you that you are Krishna. And so for them, it's going to be a constant battle to reach the point that I want to fully surrender myself to Krishna. But Prabhupada has given us a layout. If we follow what Prabhupada has given us and practice in that mood, waking up every morning, going for Mangalati, chanting your 16 rounds, reading the Shastra, and performing the devotional service, then you can attempt to meditate with love because you're performing the divine activities, isn't it? So let's say you're cleaning the temple room. At times we're cleaning the temple room and it's like, I've been told to clean. I just need to clean, and I want to go sleep. I'm tired. I woke up from Mangalati. I want to go sleep. So we're just thinking, it's just a service. I just need to do this, get it out of the way. But what Krishna is saying in 10:10 is try mopping that floor and meditating. Krishna, I am doing this because this is my little expression of love and I want to love you even more. Please give me the knowledge of how I can be able to do this. Regardless of your services, some people are serving in the Goshala, taking care of the cows. Others are dealing the electrics. Others are dealing the scriptures, giving classes, giving talks. Others are taking care of other devotees, cultivation, meditations like this. Others are just simply trying to chant their 16 rounds. Others are even just trying to chant 1 round. If we attempt to do this with some form of love, then slowly by slowly, it can be awakened. Because we're being informed that actually Our reality is that we're servants of Krishna. We are servants of Krishna. We've just forgotten this identity because of our constant engagement with the material energy, isn't it? So because of this engagement with the material energy, we're so fixed up that this is who I am, we've forgotten our actual position. The analogy is given, a baby in the womb of the mother, isn't it? The baby is there, crawled like a ball, going through intense suffering. At times we think, oh, we see, oh, I'm about to give birth. Oh, wow, beautiful. The baby comes out, blood and everything. And the mom is thinking, oh, so sweet. But the baby is going through so much suffering. What does the baby do as soon as the baby is born? Cries. Wah, wah, wah. The baby is crying constantly. The mom is trying, okay, let me give the baby milk. Nothing, still crying. Okay, let me pat the baby on my back. Nothing, still, let me get a toy. Nothing, still crying. The child has gone through immense suffering. But if I'm to ask you, do you remember the suffering you went through in the womb of your mother? You cannot remember. You cannot remember. And so because we've forgotten all that information, because of our familiarizing with the material body, it becomes difficult for us to transcend the material body. It becomes difficult for us to connect with Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, I was listening to a class by His Holiness Devamrita Swami, and he was mentioning how one personality was explaining, I forget, I think it's in the 5th canto, and he's saying that Prabhupada is giving the conclusion, at times we've come to Krishna consciousness because we're suffering. I don't know how many people have had that experience. Anyone had that experience? I'm sure Prabhu, yes, Mahaman Prabhu is mentioning, yes, we're suffering. I know some people, they were like, mimi sitaki kulipa rent, sina pesa ya rent, wacha niende kwa temple. Huku nje kazi ni mob, sijui taxes tunafaa kulipa, we have to pay tax, kazi mingi, I want to move into the temple. We have some different types of distress. For me, I moved into Krishna consciousness because someone I loved very much was diagnosed with cancer. And I was suffering. I was like, oh, Krishna, this is an object of my affection. Why are they sick with cancer? I was suffering. And then we come to Krishna consciousness. And for the first few years, it's like, wow, no more suffering. It's good. Chanting Hare Krishna with the devotees, eating good prasadam every day, and I don't have to cook it. Associating with other like-minded people, discussing Krishna Katha, everything is so nice, but then it reaches a point that because you're not advancing, you forget all the distresses. All your distresses, they go. So you think, oh, actually, going to the club is not so bad. Drinking some alcohol is not so bad. Just a little bit. It's not a big issue. You forgot when you were doing it how much you suffered. The desire to engage with the material energy, it becomes so strong, you forget all the times you suffered for doing those things. Some people used to smoke and then they're coughing so much and having intense pain. But then they come to Krishna consciousness and then they focus, and then after a few months they think, it's okay, I can have one, no problem. It won't cause me any problems. And you've forgotten completely all the pain, all the suffering that you experienced. So one advice we're actually given by devotees is journal. If you get a chance, journal your experiences in Krishna consciousness. Write down those days when you are suffering. Everyone should do this. I give this as a challenge. Write down all your experiences. When you have a good day, Hare Krishna, today is, 11th of May. I read Srimad Bhagavatam. I chanted 16 rounds. Life was fun and great, like this. The next day, when you fall from your practice, write. I thought that, I could enjoy, one drink of wine. And then I did it. And I felt so bad and I was so depressed and it hurt me so bad and I never want to do this again. Krishna helped me. In the future, when that feeling comes to you again, that, oh, I should probably have a drink. If you go back and you read how it made you feel, you will be able to remember it easily. But many a times we forget our suffering. So we can jump into the same old activities again and again, you know? And it's a funny one because we know that we have to be pure, isn't it? We have to be pure, just like a sadhu, chanting, reading, discussing, no material disturbances. But still, these disturbances are so strong, isn't it? They're so strong. So even Arjuna is repeating. And that's why Prabhupada even says in one of his purports, repetition is important to remind us because we forget very easily. This Kali Yuga brain forgets very, very quickly. So we have to keep on reminding ourselves. Prabhupada also made it important, print books. Because people won't be able to hold all their knowledge. The knowledge will come and then it will go. They'll forget tomorrow. Today, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tomorrow, I am the Supreme. I've done some good work. Look at me. 20, 30 people have come to my Sangha. So I'm Krishna. We can think like this. The mind can convince us that's when good things happen, the mind can convince you that you are in control. So constantly it's being repeated. If you listen to Prabhupada's lectures, you will notice a theme. His lectures for Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, all of them will remind you that you're not this body, you're the soul, and your job is to serve Krishna. And you can listen to 3 lectures and then you think, Prabhupada, he's just going to tell me, I am not this body, I am spirit, soul, I need to serve Krishna. I don't need to listen to the class. Because that's what he's going to say. And if you ask somebody else, you listened to that lecture, Prabhu, what did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada said, you're not this body, you're the spirit, soul, you need to serve Krishna. Why is he repeating? Repetition we need it to ingrain it in our consciousness. Because this consciousness, we have put so many other things, isn't it? So that's why we have to constantly keep on reminding ourselves. Why is this? Why are we doing the same program every day? Because we're keeping on reminding ourselves, to the point where you don't have to have an alarm to wake up at 4 o'clock. As soon as 4 o'clock, boom, your eyes are up, you're showered, you're ready in the temple room for Krishna. Or even if you're not in the temple and you have a regimen, it reaches a point, you just wake up and start rendering service to Krishna, like that directly. So that's why it's being repeated. That's why Arjuna is repeating it and giving us the strength of the parampara. The other thing, and this is the other point that is also quite important here, is we need to be linked to this parampara. Arjuna is not just mentioning all these people just to mention, because he could have also said great sages just like Peter, Michael, Moses, David, and Arnold, or great souls like Mahaman Prabhu, Kruti Mataji, Richa Mataji, Vishal Mataji, this person, that person, Kritika Mataji. He could have just given anyone's names and would have said, oh, these are, we believe. No, he gives the names that are part of our disciplic succession to encourage us to be a part of this disciplic succession. So our goal should simply not just to chant Hare Krishna. We should try our best to be linked to this parampara system. And the best way to be linked to this parampara system is by taking full shelter. And how do we show that we've taken full shelter? By surrendering to a spiritual master. Isn't it? Tadvidi pranipatena, pranipashnena sevaya, upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. If you take shelter of the pure devotee, you render and you inquire, you render services and then you inquire from them, they can enlighten you because they have seen tattvadarshina, they have seen the tattva. So a verse like this is reminding us that we actually have to work to be situated in parampara. So I don't know how many people are working to be situated in parampara in this call, but that should be your responsibility. How can I reach this standard? Prabhupada said 16 rounds every day, 4 regulative principles, eating Krishna Prasadam, making sure that I'm cooking only Krishna Prasadam, and then taking shelter of a spiritual master. Actually, in the Vedas, it is encouraged that the only way you can be able to understand anything is if you first take shelter of a guru. So we need to take shelter of a guru. And by taking shelter of a guru, it doesn't mean, obviously the pinnacle is when you've been initiated and you've gotten your beads. Today, your name is Mahaman Prabhu, like that, where you've gotten your name. That's Diksha. That should be our goal. But for us who are still trying to understand, our goal should be that this man, Srila Prabhupada, is our direct link. That we have that conviction that this is the person who's going to guide me through. And by serving this person, by serving his mission, I can have the understanding. And then from there, we get initiated. We're being encouraged to be part of this line. Gaur Govinda Maharaj, powerful sadhu, he says, parampara is like a chain. If you look at any chain, I don't know if Prahlad is wearing a chain, but if you look at any chain, they are connected. You see, the chains are linked like this. A chain is linked like that, is linked like that, is linked like that, is linked like that. When the chain is strongly linked, it can't separate. So our strong link is through Diksha, where we are openly taking the vows that I am going to work myself towards Krishna. And we're telling Krishna, we're declaring it clearly that I want to be an instrument of your devotional service. So all of us, this becomes our responsibility. If we haven't taken those steps, we need to take these steps for Krishna, including myself. Including myself, definitely. We need to take these steps so that Krishna can see that we are trying. If we love Krishna, we'll do what he says. When you love someone, you do what he says. Mother loves me so much. I tell my mom, I want a lollipop. Okay, here you go. At least in the beginning. But if you ask for too many, mom tells you no. Finish. So in the same fashion, if we love Krishna, then we should try to take the steps that he has been giving us through the pure devotee. And that is surrendering to the disciplic succession and following in the rules and the principles that have been given. Then Krishna sees that, this one, Manasiganga Mataji, she's working for me. Okay, she's mine now. Now I am responsible for her. The materialist who's outside, they're thinking that they're responsible for themselves. So they're making decisions, because we can say some of them are rich, Bill Gates, this big person, Donald Trump. They're rich, they have a lot of money, they seem happy. So that doesn't seem like such a bad idea, no? The difference is that Donald Trump, he's working on his own. So when death comes, there's no one to pull him up. He doesn't even know what's going to happen. And that's our biggest exam. But for that one, Manasiganga Mataji, Partha Prem Prabhu, Ravi Nathwani Prabhu, all those personalities who've taken shelter of Krishna, Krishna says, okay, I will give you attention. Krishna is equal to everyone, but he will give special favor to those who give him attention. For example, you can be in a class, 20, 30 people, but the teacher will answer the question of the student who asks the question, isn't it? It doesn't mean the teacher doesn't care about everyone else, but he'll be more inclined to helping those who want to be helped. So now we have to see, okay, I want Krishna. So if I start working for Krishna, Krishna is promising me here, he'll guide me. And so that becomes our responsibility. That becomes our job. It is said here in the Mundaka Upanishad, the Supreme Lord in whom everything is resting can be realized only by those who engage constantly in thinking about him. So we have to engage our mind. Smaranam, Smaranam is one of the processes of devotional service. You've got Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Dasyam, Sakyam, different methods. But we need to have our mind meditating on the Lord. And the best way to do that is if we chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And if we chant, if we read the Shastra, engage in devotional stuff, if we simply follow the process, actually the process Prabhupada has given us has all the processes. It has everything. It has all of them. Everything is there. Nothing is missing. All the different processes that are in devotional service, all of them are actually encompassed. You see, Shravanam, you're hearing Shastras, isn't it? Kirtanam, you're chanting Hare Krishna. All this is even happening just in the morning program. Vishnu Smaranam, you're meditating and trying to remember the Lord. You're taking Darshan, Govindam, Adipurusham, Tamam, Bhajami, like this. Pada Sevanam, you're offering service at the lotus feet of the Lordships. Archanam, you're serving the deity. Vandanam, you're offering prayers. Dasyam, you're saying that I'm a Das, Dasanudas. Sakyam Atmani Vedanam, you're giving yourself fully in full surrender to the Lord like this. All these processes, the way Prabhupada has given us our lifestyle as devotees, all of these are fitting there. If you follow the morning program every day, you're getting all the processes of devotional service guaranteed. All of them. And so we just have to apply. Even if, okay, I don't believe in Krishna. Blue boy with a flute, it sounds like a storybook. I may have not seen a blue boy with a flute walking around. Oh, Banke Bihari, yes, he's black and beautiful and glowing like this, with his Radharani there, glowing white and pretty. But I don't see that kind of person walking down the street. I'm not too sure, Even if we're not too sure, if we keep on trying to follow the process, gradually it will be revealed, because also Prabhupada says, this is not a speculative thing. This is our innate identity. We've lived having this understanding once upon a time. So all we're trying to do is remind ourselves. The other analogy that's given is the baby. When the baby is born, it's not like the baby, is walking, but the walking propensity is innate within the baby. So gradually the baby will want to start using his legs to walk. No one had to tell the baby, now walk. No, because it was innate within the child to walk, it reached a stage that gradually the child started walking. So similarly, because it is and why he started walking? Out of practice. He starts to practice, he walks, he falls. He stands up, he walks a little bit. Mom is saying, good, come, baby, come. Like this. And then gradually, he becomes perfect at walking. Similarly, for us to reach our goal of devotional service, if we take to the practice, gradually, it will become part of us. And now you're not waking up, alarm, it's 4 o'clock, I need to wake up, Krishna. No, that goes. And I need to go see you, my Lord. Because why? You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. That is your position. And so I will serve in this way. And if we do this gradually, the revelation becomes real. And then what happens? Krishna reveals himself to you. Devamrita Maharaj was saying, actually, chanting the Lord's name is seeing Krishna, but you're seeing Krishna through the ears. Well, I'm wondering, when can I see Krishna? When can I see Krishna? When you understand that as soon as you say Hare Krishna, Krishna is there, you will see Krishna all the time. All the time. And that's why the pure devotee, if you see videos of Prabhupada is walking around with other people, he's walking around with the devotees, and then his fingers are still there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Not that he's doing inattentive japa, no. You probably did his 16 rounds very properly. But this is because he's constantly meditating on the Lord, because when he chants the name of Krishna, Krishna is there. He feels him. Prabhupada asked his devotees, how do you know Krishna is real? How? One devotee says, because Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Others are saying, because Prabhupada, you told us. Others are saying, because of Parampara. Prabhupada is saying, no. Then one devotee says, because I feel him. And Prabhupada said, yes. We have to reach a stage where we can feel Krishna. Where we can feel him. And even if we're being rascals, we know that Krishna is there. I just need to work my way so that I can be pure for him to engage with me. But we have to reach a stage where we can feel him. And it's possible. Even for me, I don't feel Krishna. I one day want to. But because of the people around us, because of Prabhupada, we know it is possible. And if we carry on with utsaha, enthusiasm, utsaha in Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada explains that enthusiasm means endeavor with intelligence. If we endeavor with intelligence in our Krishna consciousness, apply things in the proper way, then Krishna, we will feel him. We'll say Hare Krishna, and Krishna is there. And this is our journey. So Arjuna in this verse is reminding us of the importance of parampara and the importance of remembering that I am dealing with the cause of all causes. I'm not just dealing with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. I'm not just dealing with the president of Nairobi, with the president of Kenya. I'm not just dealing with Kenyatta. I'm not just dealing with this person, the Queen of England. No, I'm dealing with Swayam Bhagavan. And all these personalities explain. Govindamadim Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, Lord Brahma is saying. And so we constantly have to remind ourselves like this. And then, if we practice seriously, Krishna, he'll come and he'll be like, Hare Krishna, I've been waiting for you. Kruti, it's taken me a long time, but now you're here. Haribol. So I hope that was helpful to help us understand this. I just picked up the main points and saw how I could relate it to our situation in trying to get closer to Krishna. Prabhupada says here, one who understands that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful activities. So if you have that anartha you're trying to remove, I criticize devotees all the time, you know. I'm like, this Kirtika Mataji, why does she does this, she does that, she does this, she does that, too much. I want to stop criticizing. She's wonderful Vaishnavi. She's doing all these services, creating the Sangha, organizing things, etc. Why am I judged? If we remember Krishna, then it becomes glorification and no more judgment. If you have an anartha, I eat too much prasad. Okay, that's very good if it's prasad. But if I'm eating too much, I can't wake up the next morning. Nimekula all the prasadam, my stomach is swollen. I can't wake up the next morning. Krishna, help me. And the next morning, what happens? The next day, what happens? You eat a little bit and then you go straight to bed. LSD, you wake up, you're not hungry anymore. Then you have enough strength to carry on the next day. We need to remember Krishna to help us purify our mistakes, purify that anartha-nipiti, clearing of the unwanted things. If we keep on serving, keep on doing our devotional service, remembering that Krishna is the purest, and we're trying to serve him, so he has to make us pure, he will purify us. And then we'll reach that stage where we can meditate on him and enjoy our transcendental relationship with him, as Prabhupada says in the purport. Hare Krishna. So I'll finish there. I don't know if anyone has any questions, comments, corrections, reflections as well. It would be nice to hear. Also,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. This was an excellent class, and we do reflect every day. So today session is for us to clear our doubts. And there are many questions in the chat, and I'll read them one by one. The first question is, Haribol, please would you ask Srila Prabhupada, is everyone's Shiksha Guru accepted? However, I have a mental problem, so where do I go?
Okay, so this person is saying Shiksha Guru. Okay, so If you take full shelter of Shiksha Guru, of course, you're part of the lineage, you're part of the parampara. The question is, how much shelter are we taking? This is the thing, because we can say, oh, okay, I've taken shelter. And then 60, okay, so in the morning, I wake up, I do my chanting. But in the evening, because, okay, no one's going to tell me anything if I do this, okay, I'll go out and have a drink with my friend. And then I'll come back home, and then my mentor calls me and is like, yes, Sadhu, I'm doing okay, just, Maya is fighting me, but I am combating her back, And so to some extent, we are following our Shiksha, but at the same time, we're not fully surrendered to the Shiksha. Actually, our line is strongly situated in Shiksha, Our line is mostly situated in Shiksha. Most of these personalities, they got Shiksha. There was nothing like Diksha in even Arjuna here and Krishna. It's not that Arjuna was saying Karpanya Dosho, and then Krishna said, okay, Swaha, Swaha, I am your guru. Like this. No, it was Shiksha. He was guru as Shiksha. Because Arjuna fully surrendered unto him, he gave him instruction as Shiksha. Isn't it? So actually our line is a Shiksha line. That if you take instructions from this person and you make them your life and soul, that's what I was mentioning. It doesn't mean, oh, you get your name, now your name is Krishna Das. No. It's if you take instructions from these people as your life and soul. And so the easiest way to do that or to prove is when you've actually made the vow. That's why Prabhupada was saying, if you want me to initiate you, you have to do this. And so if you are not getting initiated, then maybe you are not doing it, isn't it? So to help us reach the standard, to push us towards that, Diksha is recommended. But still, if you follow the Shiksha with your heart and soul, having this as your core meditation, Krishna is a person, he sees, Prabhu, Mataji, you're serving me, you surrendered to my devotee, you gave your life to my devotee, you didn't do 50% Krishna, 50% Maya, you did 100% Krishna, you just did not take Diksha, come back home. So I hope that answers. Yes, Shiksha line. So even Prabhu, Mataji is probably saying, oh, I have a mental health issue or whatever. These things do not matter that much. This is the body is disturbing. But if you're convinced, chanting 16 rounds every day without fail, even if the mental issue comes or it doesn't come, we chant 16 rounds. We follow the 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. We try our best to be associated in Sangha with devotees, listening, chanting, eating prasadam with the devotees. And then we try put our lives in devotional service fully. Krishna will accept. He said, he did not say in 10:10, Te Sham Satak, how would I put it? He did not say, Te Sham Satata Diksha Yuktanam. No. Bhajatam Priti Diksha Purvakam. No. He just said, if you devote yourself to me with love, I will give you the intelligence. He did not say Diksha. Arjuna did not complain, and then Krishna said, okay, fire sacrifice. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavat. No. Taking fully to the instruction. That's why it said initiation doesn't start from when you get your beads. It starts in the heart when you've accepted this person, that everything they say and do and instruct you to do, you will follow like that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so now there are questions on the chat, which I'll take first, and then people who have raised hands. So this question is from Richa Mataji, and she says, Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. I have 2 questions. What if someone is trying to do devotional service and chant, but still it's so hard to wake those emotions towards whatever activities he or she is performing? He's performing all devotional service. The second question is that when we talk about money and knowledge according to the material nature, it has become very necessary even for basic survival. So does that mean that obtaining such knowledge for survival shouldn't be the goal and we should focus on it? In the end, we are exposing ourselves to Maya, which is not good as for spirituality. Does that mean we stop going outside where Maya exists and isolate ourselves? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Good questions. Good. So in the first question, you're trying to do devotional service, but it's still so difficult to awaken those emotions, even if you're doing everything. I've been in the temple 10 years, still nothing's happening. You know, there's the analogy of the bamboo and the fern tree, isn't it? The bamboo or the fern tree, you plant it, 2 days later, up, carries on, carries on, carries on. The bamboo, you plant it, 1 month, nay, nature, where is it gone? Nothing, nothing, can't see anything. 2 months, 3 months, nothing, can't see. 4 months, 5 months, nothing, can't see. 7 months, 8 months, nothing, can't see. Towards the 10th month, boom, it comes. And then what does it do? It sprouts even higher than the fern. So the emotions will come when Krishna knows it's time for them to come. From our side, we have to fully be convinced on the process, because then this is what this is showing us is that, okay, the same way you go to like Chandarana supermarket, you buy something, you give Lakshmi, you buy something, you take it home. So you're thinking, okay, I'm performing devotional service. Prem kedar hai? Where is the prema? I cannot see the prem. No, it's not in the same fashion. If we try slowly cultivating our Krishna consciousness, following the instructions, Krishna will bring it when it's ready for us. But at the same time, a person who is performing all devotional service to the best of his ability will definitely receive reciprocation. He will receive blessings from the Vaishnavas. Blessings from the Vaishnavas are some of the strongest ways to go back to Godhead. So if you're in the temple room and you're doing service and Manasiganga Mataji doesn't tell you Hare Krishna, all glories to your service, and you're doing it well, she has to tell you all glories to your service, because she sees that genuine strive in your devotional life. So if you practice seriously, you will see results. They probably will not be the results you want to see, because in the world we live today, we want everything now. You know, I want a new car now. I want a new house now. I want a new thing. I can buy it tomorrow. And then we come to Krishna. I want Krishna Prem yesterday. It's not going to come that easy. You have to work for it. You're asking for, you want Krishna Prem yesterday? You have to work for it. And if you keep on carrying on and carrying on, gradually, when Krishna sees that you're ready and you've surrendered, he will give. Also, at times it's withheld to test our faith. Because Krishna says, and actually this is also in Act of Devotion, that Prabhupada says that Krishna becomes purchased by his devotee. If he gives himself to you, you know, he's fully surrendered unto you. You're not even the one surrendering to Krishna. Krishna is surrendered unto you. So, but if you haven't given yourself fully, and then Krishna surrenders unto you, then you go back to Maya, you'll be punching him in the face. Maya will not allow you to do that. So Maya will hold you and block you. Are you sure you want Krishna? Okay, let me bring them the money. There you go, 50,000. What will you do with that 50,000? You've gone for shopping. Did you buy anything for Krishna? Oh, you bought something for yourself. Okay. Did you offer it to Krishna? No, you did not. Good. So I know you do not want Krishna fully. Like this. So we have to carry on. And what we're being encouraged to develop is tenacity. Even if we fall, 11, 20, 27, you know, Srimad Bhagavatam, even if you fall, carry on with enthusiasm. Even if, you know, you went out with your friends and then you ended up having 1 cup of guarana. Okay, you did it and you know it's wrong. Carry on with enthusiasm. Don't be like, oh, Krishna, I am in Maya. I'm not going to the temple again. You know, Mansiganga calls you and you're like, oh, I don't want to pick up her call. She'll know that I'm in Maya. No, you know, we carry on with enthusiasm. We say, I've done this mistake, but this is not me. I'm working myself to perfection. And if you carry on, Krishna will reciprocate and he'll make it easier. And he'll tell Maya Devi, okay, you relax now. you relax. This one is, he's trying, she's trying, like this. In regards to the second question, these are necessities. The reality is, rent lazima ulipe. You have to pay the rent. Tax you have to pay, otherwise, Kanjo, the council will come for you. Where? What are you doing? We are understanding that our goal is Krishna consciousness. That is our goal. These other activities are not our goal, but they are means to facilitate for our goal. So the materialist is thinking that if I have money, I will be happy. But you as a devotee, you're thinking, only by serving Krishna will I be happy. So how do I serve Krishna if I have money, if I do not have money? Because that's where my happiness will come. It doesn't mean that you run away from your responsibilities, because you need to take care of yourself. Oh, I'm not going to work because, some of my friends are not devotees, so I'll be in Maya, let me just stay at home and starve to death. Huh? You have to take care of your body. You have to take care of yourself. You have to work within your nature. And that's why we're also encouraged by Krishna. Find out what is your nature. What is your swabhava? Krishna tells Arjuna in 333, what will repress? Everyone has to act according to the nature he has acquired. What will repression accomplish? Find what your nature is and then do a job according to your nature. Some people, maybe their nature is, to become an artist. But in our families, you tell mom, oh, mom, I want to become an artist. Mom is telling you, what are you saying? Remove that out of your mouth. Engineer, doctor, businessman. That's what we want to do. I remember when I was young and I was really wanting to become an actor, before I got into TV. And I remember telling my mom also had asked me, and I was like, mom, I really like acting. I think, I'm doing these dramas and I think I want to be like Will Smith. And then my mom looked at me and she said, hey, my boy, unfortunately, you were born in Nairobi. Here, you cannot be Will Smith. Here, you need white collar. And I remember she was pointing at her. White collar. Yes. You need engineer, lawyer, That's what you need to be. Don't start telling me about, oh, I want to be an actor. But then, because I knew that that was my swabhava, I had this conviction that this is my goal, to entertain people and to express happiness and emotions through drama. I carried on. And then what happened? One day I was performing in school. Then a producer came and said, can I speak to your mother? I said, yes, here's my mom. We see your son is doing this acting thing on the stage very nicely. We want to put him on TV. My mom was like, oh, really? Okay. There you go. And that became the transition, because my good fortune was that I found my swabhava. So even if your mom is telling you, you just become a lawyer, engineer, fine, you can pick the subjects for law and engineering, but also find your swabhava and attempt to see how you can be situated in your swabhava. Some people are you can probably be very good at mechanics. So yes, you're doing what you need to do so that mom and dad are not upset, but at the same time, you're trying to work out these mechanics to see, okay, can I make something out of this? And if you have, because that's part of your nature, Krishna will reciprocate like this. He is promising. So we have to find our swabhava. And if we find our swabhava, what our nature has to offer, then we can work in the material world, remembering that Krishna is my goal, and that even that work that I'm doing to pay the rent is devotional service. You won't think that, oh, me becoming a businessman and paying the bills is different from Krishna consciousness. You're conscious that that job is helping you perform devotional service. Even if you're bringing 50 shillings to give us a donation, that 50 shillings will help the Krishna consciousness movement. So it is all devotional service. So you don't have to stop going outside. You don't have to avoid Maya outside. You still do that, but you're protected because you're chanting Hare Krishna. You've got the Sadhu Sangha, you've got the Shraddha, and you're performing Bhajana Kriya, your devotional practice. I hope that answers that question, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Kruti has the next question. Kruti, kindly unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, I'll just be quick. This whatever you explained earlier, it reminds me of a question I came across. It's been a while, and the question was, okay.
Oh no, carry on. I'm just turning on the
Yeah.
light because.
Okay. Yeah. So the question was, someone just asked me, like, he was an African, so he just asked me that, does your God work? That's what he asked me, and I just realized that that's how we are really perceiving God. Of if He works, you're saying like we need to reach a level where we feel Krishna, but we're usually perceiving Him as if He does something, that's when we know He exists. Like we ask for something, and if He gives, then you're like, oh yeah, that's Krishna. But if He doesn't give, then we're questioning. So how do we get to the stage of feeling Krishna and not just about if he gives me something or yeah? I hope.
No, that's a very good question.
Please, to interrupt, please repeat the question.
Oh.
Okay, so my question was earlier before the. Can you hear me? I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yes. I think Prabhuji cannot hear you because you are very soft. So the question, if you can talk loudly, that would be better, or I can ask the question for you.
Yeah, if you've understood, it would be better. Yeah.
So Prabhuji, the question is, when Krishna gives you something, you say, Krishna is there, he's given me. But when he doesn't give you anything, what do you infer from that? And at that time, you'll say, oh, Krishna didn't do this for me. Am I correct, Kruti?
Not exactly like why he's not given me. My question is like that's how we usually perceive if God exists or if God is there or how we feel about God.
As a proof that he's there, he's given you something that you asked.
Yeah, there's some reciprocation
yeah, but
there.
we're not actually feeling it. That's yeah. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. No. That's a good question. So what I can say is and probably other seniors might be able to answer it much better. I by no means think it's the perfect response, but it's a gradual process of realization. If we are to meditate, I don't know, were you born in Krishna consciousness, Kruti, for example, or did you find devotees later on?
I found devotees later on, just
Exactly.
recently.
Oh, just recently. So if you're to meditate on, let's say, how the devotees came into your life, what situation, you'll notice that there was something beyond your control that made it happen, isn't it? Like for me, I was very much distressed with my relative getting sick with cancer, and I was suffering. And when I was asking God, why would you do this? A devotee friend, I don't know if you know her, Stephanie Ikundo. She used to be my neighbor, wonderful personality. She enlightened me about Krishna consciousness. So I could just think, even Krishna wasn't really there. That's Stephanie who came and reached out to me. But if we introspect, we can see that Krishna arranged for me to find a philosophy to get to him through a person that I knew when I was inquiring. So, but at the beginning, that realization is very hard to understand because we're looking at it like, I was hungry, and then, someone calls me and says, okay, let me buy you food. It's like, oh, Krishna has reciprocated right now, Or, I pray, oh, Krishna, let me get an A in my test, please. And then you do the test and you get an A. Krishna's reciprocated. Or, Krishna, I want this house, please help me get this house. And then, the deal happens and then you get that house. Krishna is real. To some respect, based on our levels of advancement, Krishna will give us some form of reciprocation like this to intensify our faith. But just because he stops giving at some point doesn't mean that he's not there. If we see even the pastime of Narad Muni was living with the sages, and by the mercy of the sages, Narad Muni got the mercy. Then his mother passed. It was killed by being bitten by a snake. He saw that that was Krishna arranging to clear his detachments. If my mother today was bitten by a snake and died, I will not go to Radha Gokulananda here and be like, oh, Krishna, that's... I'll first be like, why would you take my mom? Because I am still on the bodily perception, still looking at it from the point of matter. But because he was more advanced, he saw that actually the death of his mother has meant that his attachments have been cleared, so he can focus on Krishna. Then he started doing devotional service, and as he was practicing intensely, Krishna gave him darshan. And then he got to see darshan of Krishna in the as a super soul. Then what did Krishna do? He left. He telegared. So now he's left. Did that mean, oh, because Krishna is gone now, he doesn't exist? No. But because he got that small token of understanding, he carried on pushing. And then when he died and left his body, he assumed the form of Narada as a devotee of Krishna, pure devotee of the Lord. So in a similar fashion, if we are to introspect in the things that are happening in our life, we can tell for sure that there's a superior power here that is working. And if we're reading Bhagavad Gita, we understand that that superior power is no one but Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself. And it will happen with even small things. I can give you a story for me. One time I had gone for a preaching program with some devotees. And here at the temple here in Watford, England, at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, the lordships, they get the last Bhoga offering around 8:30, and then 9 o'clock darshan, and then they go to sleep. Now that 8:30 Bhoga, obviously we get it as prasadam, is usually the sweetest. Creamy sabji, it's nice, creamy, very fattening, with big round puris and pakoras, aubergine pakoras, paneer pakoras, and then all this tomato chutney, food, plum chutney, very, very nice. So I've gone for this program, and then, no offense, but these people, they brought rajma, rice, and dal, and I honored very little. I said not much, because me, I wanted to eat that one. When I go back to the temple, I'll go and see if I can make myself a nice plate of Mahaprasad. And this time it wasn't locked down, so there were many people coming to the temple. So I only ate very little, and I didn't eat lunch that day. But I ate very little because I knew, I want that 9 o'clock sabji, very nice. So then the Sangha finishes at around, 8:45 going to 9 o'clock. And then obviously we know 9 o'clock is darshan. So then now we're rushing back to come back to the temple. Then we hit a bit of traffic because one person got into an accident on the road that we were in. So it took time because they had to move the car and everything. And then by the time we got into the temple, all my friends, they've already eaten, all the devotees have eaten, they're going straight to bed. See you tomorrow morning, Ian Prabhu. I'm thinking, sabji. So I'm running to the temple room. And then I see, the one of the devotees here, Prayojana Prabhu, he's locking the temple room because darshan already finished, curtains were closed at 9:30. It's time for the lordships to go to take rest. So then I asked him, Prabhu, is there any maha? He says, okay, go check the reception, probably there's some maha. And when I went to the reception, there was only one plate that had like a piece of puri this small and 2 drops of chutney. And I was thinking, oh, Krishna, I should have just eaten the rajma. Now I'm going to sleep hungry. And because all the devotees, they would come, we'd even have 30 people coming for darshan in the evening. And so they would come for darshan and then all the maha goes. So I was very sad. And I was like, Krishna, probably Krishna, this is your way of telling me that I should honor I did honor, but I should also value the prasadam by the other devotees. But then, as I was walking up to the room, one of the pujaris comes and says, Hare Krishna, we have this extra plate here. The other cook forgot to take the plate. We have an extra plate. It can't go to waste. Take it. And then I open the plate, and it's a big round puri with a lot of sabji and 3 pakoras and a lot of chutney. And I paused and I looked at him. because I was going to bed. I looked at him and I was like, how come? He was like, Krishna's arrangement. And I gave him a hug. And then as I was eating, I saw that was Krishna's arrangement. He's the one who brought for me that sabji. Because I would have gone thinking, Krishna doesn't care about me. But Krishna brought for me that sabji. He brought for me that Mahaprasad. Because he knew that I wanted it. And I had this strong desire for it. So even from that small experience, I knew that Krishna has arranged. Another time, I'll give you another instance. This is the last one, sorry. Another instance, I was in London, and because I was in university in a different town called Canterbury. So I didn't have much money because when I became a devotee, my mom wasn't too pleased. So she stopped giving me a lot of money because she thinks, oh, you're just taking it all to the temple, to the Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. You're not keeping for yourself, so I'm not giving you anymore. And so with the little money I had, I would buy a ticket to go to the to London so I can go see the temple. So this time I've gone to see the temple, but I'm still very new. So the devotees don't know me so well. They've just seen, oh, this boy is just coming here once or twice, eating prasadam, he's going. But this day, it was on a Thursday, and I didn't have any more money. Okay, no, let me not say that first. So they've called me for Harinam. So I've joined them for Harinam. And then this Mataji, she's even calling me, you chant, here, take the microphone, chant. And I'm very new, Krishna consciousness, only like 3-4 months. So he's making me chant and I'm happy, I'm enjoying. This was around 6 o'clock. So we're chanting. Then my coach to go back to Canterbury was at 7 o'clock. So at 6:30, I tell them, okay, Hare Krishna, thank you very much. I'll come back, in a few weeks once I've saved more money, because I got a job that time. So once I've saved some money, I will come like this. So then I go to the station to tap my card. My card is not accepting. I'm like, how is this happening? I take my phone, Apple Pay. I'm trying to do the Apple Pay. It's not happening. What's going on? I call the person who mans the gate and he says, oh, it looks like you don't have enough funds. I check my Oyster card. I only have £1.50. To use the train is £3.40. The underground, £3.40. So I only have £1.50, exactly £1.50. So I look, okay, I have 30 minutes. And this time, obviously, it's now like 25 minutes. How can I get to the station on time? The only other way I can get to the station is through a bus. How much is the bus? Exactly £1.50. But the bus takes 40 minutes. What other option do I have? I can't go back to the devotees. I don't know them so well to give me help. I'm still, and my pride, I'm a Kenyan man, I wouldn't start telling them I don't have any money. Huh? How? Because I'm still very new. So I take the bus. And I remember sitting there and on the bus, and I was almost crying. This is also winter. It's very cold. And this is around that time, 6:30, 7 p.m. is around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in Nairobi. So at first I was thinking, let me call mom to tell mom to send me some money, but all the banks in Kenya will be closed. So she can't be able to do much for me. And if she does a Western Union transaction, the next morning is when it will be passed through. So I can't call mom, she can't help me. So I sat in there, and I just remember someone saying, if you do something for Krishna with your heart, Krishna will listen. So I remember I sat with my beads and I said, Krishna, I actually wasn't going to stay there for that kirtan, Harinam, but I stayed because it was for you. You take care of me now. And I chanted, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One full round of japa. When I get to the station, obviously it's around 7:15. I already see at the beginning, departed Canterbury. The next coach is at 9:30, and how much does it cost? £20, which I do not have. I go I'm about to walk to the receptionist to ask the receptionist for help. But as I'm walking, I see the receptionist, he's fighting with a woman. And this woman is shouting, very funny. She's saying, I've just missed my coach by 1 minute. And you're telling me I need to buy another ticket. What kind of nonsense is this? She's shouting at him. And he's saying, I'm sorry, your ticket was unamendable. So you have to buy another ticket. It's going to cost you 20 pounds. I'm sorry. And she's even cursing him. She's calling him so many names. He's fried. He's frustrated. Get out of here. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, Krishna, I'm about to go do the same thing and ask for the next ticket, which was at 9 o'clock. But I have no money. And my ticket, I bought it for £5. So my ticket is also not unamendable. So I remember looking and I was like, okay, Krishna, here goes nothing. And then as I walked, someone taps me on my back. And then I look back and then he tells me, unafanya nini hapa? So I'm in shock. He's speaking to me in Swahili. And I first asked him, how do you know I speak Swahili? And then he says, because I didn't wear this chada. I used to wear the Masai Kanga. You know, when you come to the West, you come with the Masai Kanga, you know, black, checked black and red. So he said, oh, your Kanga yako, I've seen your Kanga. If you're not Kenyan, you're probably from Tanzania. I'm from Kenya. Yeah, that's what he tells me. So I'm in shock. I couldn't believe it. Of all times, this Kenyan has come to stop me to speak to me. Then when I look at his shirt, what's printed on his shirt? National Express. He works for the company that's doing the buses. Then I tell him, oh, this is my situation. I missed my coach, nini, like this. And in 2 minutes, I got a ticket to go back to Canterbury in the winter cold. I was sitting there holding my ticket. And I was wondering, how else could this ticket have come to me if it was not because of Krishna? Definitely this ticket came from because I was just about to go ask the other person to help me, but he would have said no because he told the other person no. So how comes just before I went to ask, this person comes and taps me and speaks to me and gives me all the help that I need and gets me another ticket? And I knew it is because of Krishna. And from that day, I knew, okay, this thing that Govinda Prem told me to start doing, this chanting Hare Krishna, this and that, it's actually very, very good. You know, because I would have had to sleep on the streets. The winter cold. And you know, we're from Kenya, you were used to the sun. This winter cold is unbearable, and I didn't even have a heavy jacket. So I'd have had to sleep on the streets till the next day. But there, Krishna helped me. And from there, I remember that day very well. I knew the thing Govinda Prem is putting here is no joke. And so in our own lives, I'm sure if we all introspect, you know, if all of us look in our life where I've come from, the things that I've done, definitely there's some things that have happened that you can clearly see that Krishna is protecting me. And so that can help us build our faith. That should be what helps us build these pastimes. That's why journaling is very important. And I encourage everyone to do it. I'm not very good at it myself, but I encourage everyone, if you can, please journal, write your experiences. Then in the future, when you're losing faith because you're thinking, oh, Krishna has not showed anything to me for the past 10 years. But when you look back and you read something that happened 15 years ago, you'll see, no, Krishna was there for me. He's real. This is not just a blue boy with a flute. He's real. He's real. And he's in my life and he loves me. He loves me. I'm not just loving someone who does not care about me. He loves me also because he's shown me out of 8 billion people in this world, he came to me with my demons. I never even cared about God. I was drinking, smoking, partying, living the high material life. I derided people who were spiritual. And I said, you're just wasting your time. These people are telling you about religion to control you so that you can't enjoy life. Look at me, I'm living life. Krishna came to me and showed me a way to get to him. He loves me. And if we remind ourselves about these things every time, then when you pick up your beads to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, you're not just chanting sounds out of your mouth. It's an exchange of love. And then slowly, more experiences will come and they'll give you the faith. So my answer to that question in general is trudge on, carry on. And notice, you see, if you look with a clearer eye, you see how Krishna is actually coming into your life. You see very, very clearly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I know we've taken a lot of your time. Are there any other burning questions? Richa Mataji, your hand was up. Is it a long question? If it's a short question,
No
we'll allow
problem.
you.
You can bring it. It's fine. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I've always had this question that when we talk about surrendering onto spiritual master, or like accepting a spiritual master, one has to develop love and affection and a connection towards him. So when we develop that love and affection, we also know that when we take initiation or when we consider him as our master, all our sinful reactions, our karmic activities goes to him. So due to those truthful facts, some people, they step back from taking initiation, even though they are aspiring from some Guru Maharaj, from big Swamis, but they always have that care that no, my Maharaj will be affected. My Maharaj, his life will get shortened, and it's going to affect him, because we all are. No one is perfect. No devotee is exactly perfect. At some point, we all make such mistakes, and in the end, our Guru Maharaj has to suffer for it. So isn't it a step back towards the affection and love of spiritual master, and his a lot of sacrifice, which increases our burden also, that we are transferring our karmas to someone else, such highly positioned personality. I don't know if my question is clear.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. I remember one disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj. Every time when we were told, oh, Jayapataka Maharaj is having a surgery or he's having this thing replaced, you'd say, oh, I am a sinner. That's why Maharaj is having to go to hospital. Oh, I am so evil. Look at me. I'm killing my Guru Dev. I'm not doing my... What pleases the spiritual master is that you're giving your life to Krishna. The spiritual master has Divya Chakshush. He knows that he's not this body. He knows that this body is a pile of stool, pus, blood, urine, intestines, meat, and all this nonsense. So for this guru, he's happy to help you have the same realization and also inspire others and go back home, back to your home. You know? It's like if you're ever lost, like let's say like you're in Nairobi town and then you get lost, and then you find a good person who's helping you catch the right matatu to get you back, let's say to Parklands or to, you know, to Ngara Road or to wherever, South B, wherever. The happiness is that you found the correct matatu and that you don't get lost further. Even if it took them 15 minutes out of their own journey, if they had to struggle a little bit and, you know, they probably couldn't speak your language and so they're confused a little bit, the happiness comes when you're properly situated. So actually, you not taking initiation when you know you should is much painful for your spiritual master, because how else can he help you? He needs to see your commitment. And now then that becomes your responsibility. Hey, here, I am hurting my spiritual master. I need to be Paka. I need to do better. And if he sees that you're trying, he will help you. Krishna will help you. So don't worry that, you know, the next time, your Guru Dev, he has a cough, you're thinking, oh, he's coughing because I didn't chant my rounds with concentration. No. No. He's on a purely spiritual platform. And that's why we see Prabhupada disciples, their Guru Maharaj has left. The Guru Maharaj is not there physically, physically. But their connection with their Guru Maharaj is even stronger because it's not based on the body. This person is guiding you to go back home because he's already gone back home. He already has the vision of going back home because he's gotten that, what do you call it? He's gotten the realization, the awakening. There's a term. Jivan Mukti. He's gotten that pure liberation whilst in the material world because he's gotten
Epiphany.
full darshan of Krishna. Yeah, okay, that's another term as well. He's gotten the realization, the tattva darshina, the vision of the reality. So even if his body is coughing or like look at Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has had a stroke, has had this, has had that. He even got COVID and he survived. His body is running on different people's body parts. And he's still taking disciples. Over 40,000 people have taken initiation from Maharaj, and he's still carrying on. Recently, he initiated a few even from here. Because his joy is coming from us perfecting our lives by being devotees. So you will be hurting him more if you say, oh, I'm not going to take Diksha because I'll give Maharaj a cough. No. Take the vows and work your hardest to follow those vows. Even if it's difficult, and if you're struggling and you fail from your vows, you openly go to your Gurudev and tell Gurudev, I'm struggling, please help me. Or you go to your mother and you ask your mother, please, or whichever like senior mother who's cultivating you and training, you can go to Matsiganga Mataji, I'm struggling with this, please help me. And when they see that you're struggling and you're sincerely trying to improve, you will reach. Actually, we were told what's the definition of a sadhu. Mahatma Prabhu, he says, from the Shastra, Prabhupada elucidates that the definition of a sadhu is that one who is pushed back so many times, but still stands up and keeps on moving, stands up and keeps on moving. So the spiritual, actually, Prabhu is even put here, spiritual master's Vapu, the instructions he's giving you, take shelter of them. And even when the Vapu goes, the spiritual master's Vani, instructions, teachings, perspectives, you carry that. And the spiritual master will be living with you even if the body is not there. So do not fear. Secure yourself. Secure yourself because your Guru Maharaj is secure. They say in an aeroplane, when the emergency arises, you put on your gas mask first. Then you can put on your gas mask for your loved one. If you're trying to put on the gas mask for your loved one first, you also start suffocating. You will die or you will choke up and they will also choke up. You're wasting time. But if you secure yourself, then you can secure everyone else around you. Similarly, Gurudev is secure because he's taken shelter of his Gurudev. And so if you take shelter of him and follow those instructions fully, then you're also putting your gas mask. And what will you do? You will go start putting gas masks for all of them. Like that. I hope that answers. I hope that makes it clear. So do not fear. Do not fear. The fear should be if you do not take. Don't hold yourself back. Do it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, there's a comment, and I'd like to read this comment with wonderful and superb class. As you are a pioneer of HKTC Nairobi, you are really fulfilling the mission of Srila Prabhupada. All good fortune to you, and pray Lord Krishna, you advance spiritually like a horse of Derby race and go back home to Godhead in this life itself.
Hare Krishna.
These blessings are from Mahaman Das Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mahaman Prabhu, and thank you so much for tolerating me, and for taking the time to even listen to me. I'm sure you have more realizations, more knowledge, but you're giving me the service. So thank you so much. And if I can serve you in this way, please give me your blessings, because only by the blessings of the devotees can we go.
Prabhuji serves in Ethiopia and he's translating the Gita in the Ethiopian language. And
Oh, so can I guess, is that with Mahaprasad Prabhu? By any chance, Mahaprasad Prabhu? I think Mahaprasad Prabhu is also doing some service of translation in Ethiopia or in Eritrea, probably one of the two, I'm not too sure.
That is Mahaprasad, but he's not here. I think Kritika is making a mistake or something.
Okay, yes, Mataji, I have made a mistake. I really apologize. Sorry, Mahaman Das is not Mahaprasad Prabhuji. I thought.
Mahaman is from Nairobi, very much from Nairobi.
Yes. Sorry, it's my mistake.
And you must be knowing Mahaprasad, right?
Yes. I know Mahaprasad Prabhu, yes.
I was just talking to him yesterday for a very long time.
Yeah, he's like my uncle here. He takes care of me once he's here.
He joined in Nairobi, by the way.
Oh, Jai.
Him and his
Nairobi.
uncle both. Yeah, actually,
Wow.
his uncle was called Banki Bihari. And he joined also in Nairobi. So I keep telling him, you belong to Nairobi, so get here. And
Jai. Hare Krishna, Mom.
Hare
Thank
Krishna. I think we've exhausted our time, and I appreciate that it is 9:35 in Kenya on a very cold, windy, rainy day. So we'd like to say thank you. Is Parth Prabhuji there? Parth Prabhuji, can you end the session? Okay, Parth Prabhuji might have had a service, so I can't see him. But let me close the session. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for joining us at such a short notice. I promise next time by Sunday you will have the verse or even before. Thank you very much. We meet every day at the same time, same link. So if you have few minutes, kindly join us whenever possible. We have different speakers every day. Tomorrow, it is Kanchan Nabja Prabhuji. I think you might know him. So he's doing the next text tomorrow. So at the same time, Prabhuji, thank you so much. And to glorify Prabhuji, can we all unmute and chant the Maha Mantra once? Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Pranam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Ian Prabhuji ki
Jai.
Gaura Bhaktavrinda ki Jai.
Haribol.
Hare
Krishna.
So sorry, Prabhu. It was actually my fault for not approaching you. I was really